Hey, what's up? So I thought I would show you guys something about the way I use beat discovery. So to illustrate it, here's a beat I made some time ago. And right now, all of the drums in this beat are coming from one single instance of beat discovery. Okay, so here it is. So we can see that all the drum sounds are coming from one instance, like there's the kick and there's the snare and all that. So they're all coming out of one. But by the time you're done with the beat, you're gonna wanna separate all those different parts of the drum track into their own individual instances of beat discovery. That way you can, say, add reverb to only the snare and things like that. Basically, you're separating them so you can tweak them individually. So here's how I go about doing that. The beat discovery rack is over here. I'm gonna move it over to the right so we can see it. I'll make it green just so we know that that's the one with beat discovery, okay? So I'm gonna duplicate this a couple of times. So now you see in the bottom right, there's 3 instances of beat discovery. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna make the kick, snare, and hi-hat, I'm gonna separate those 3 parts. So I'll, for my own clarity, I'm gonna rename these. Kick, snare, and hi-hat. Okay. And then the next thing I have to do is up here, there's only one row of MIDI controlling the whole drum track. So I'm gonna have to create 2 more rows of MIDI, which I'll do right now. All right, so we can see that I just created 2 more rows of MIDI, and I'm just gonna copy this information. Right now it's only on the original beat discovery track, which is named kick. I'm gonna move these, or I'm gonna copy this information for the entire drum track onto these 2 new rows of MIDI that I just created. Okay, and then now I'm gonna assign these 2 new rows of MIDI to the 2 instances of beat discovery that I created earlier. Okay. So now let me turn that down a little bit. So now we can see that the beat is basically playing 3 times simultaneously because I copied the MIDI information onto these 2 new MIDI rows, and I assigned those, each of them, to one of the new instances of beat discovery that I created. So we see all 3 of them are playing the entire beat. Now, what I'm gonna do to separate them is I'm gonna go to this instance the first instance, which I labeled kick. I'm gonna solo the kick. Okay, so now we can see that this instance, it's only playing kicks. It's only responding to kicks. So now I'll do something similar for the snare. Let me pull up that instance, which I'm gonna solo the snares. Okay, so now we can see that this guy here is only, whoops, let me loop the section that plays the whole beat. Okay, so now we can see that this guy, all he's playing is snares. And likewise with this last one, we're gonna make it so that all he plays is hi-hat. And we do that by opening that instance and soloing the hi-hats. Okay. So now that's what we wanted, is each of the parts of the drum track are separated into their own individual instances of beat discovery. So now, you know, we can turn down the hi-hat, which we could do before, but now we can also do things like, you know, let's say we want to put a filter on only the hi-hat, which I'm doing now. High pass filter. The reason I'm doing this is to remove some low end from the hi-hat so that one, it sounds, I don't know, a little more hi-hatty. And second, so that any low end coming from the hi-hat won't interfere with low end from the kick and other things like that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show you, is how to separate one instance of beat discovery into 3, and now you can tweak the individual drum sounds individually, each by themselves. All right, enjoy.